Ooh. Okay. So, it's your girl, Takey Glam. Tonight, we're going to get wine drunk and we're going to talk some shit, okay? Rewind. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Takey Glam. I'm back with another video. Today, we're doing Takey Talks. We're getting wine drunk and we're going to talk some shit today. And today, I want to talk about Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, okay? So we're going to discuss that situation. I'm going to hit on a couple of points and a couple of things that I saw just floating around on social media, and I'm going to give my opinion about it, and I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about it as well, okay? So unless you've been living under a rock or just completely out of the loop about everything that's been going on, or you just don't keep up with celebrities like that, and that's fine too. Megan Thee Stallion was, I think about a month ago or a month or two ago. I don't know how long ago that was, child, but Megan Thee Stallion was shot in both of her feet, allegedly by Tory Lanez, okay? So there was a video going around on social media. Megan was, I think it looked like Megan and Tory were... It looked like Megan and Tory were laying on the ground, helicopters flying around and shit. And we don't really have the full story. The public doesn't have the full story. All I know is she came out the other day. Well, these were the rumors that were floating around. These were rumors now that Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez were romantically involved. And they went to Kylie Jenner's house. Tory Lanez was flirting with Kylie Jenner, or Kylie Jenner was flirting with Tory Lanez. Megan Thee Stallion got jealous, and supposedly she told him to take her home or something like that. She gets in the car. She asked him to let her out. He wouldn't let her out, and I don't know how she eventually got out. But anyway, he ended up shooting her in her feet. Okay, and that's one story. The next story is that Megan Thee Stallion and her best friend Kelsey, they were together, and supposedly Kelsey and Tory Lanez had a thing going on, and she, Megan and Tory were sneaking around behind Kelsey's back, and I guess Kelsey must have found out, everybody in the car arguing. I don't know. One thing led to another, and he shot her. I don't know. We really don't have the full story. All of these rumors that's going around, none of them really make sense, because I think it's just a bunch of people just piecing things together. But regardless of what happened, this woman was shot in her feet, and it could have been worse. It could have been fatal. He could have killed her, hurt her. It could have ended her career. She could have died. I mean, a lot of things could have went down. One thing that I've noticed, just by, me being a person on the internet looking at things, is that people are attacking Megan and, saying that her story doesn't add up, and just trying to discredit her and taking Tory's side. And, basically people are victim shaming and victim blaming. That's the word for it. People are victim blaming, saying that her story doesn't add up. Why would somebody shoot you in your feet for no reason? Because she came out and she kind of gave us a small, just a small snippet, I guess, of what happened. She didn't really go into deep details, but she kind of gave us a broad overview of what happened that night, But regardless, but overall, she did say that he is the one who shot her in both of her feet. So I've seen a lot of victim blaming and stuff on social media. People saying that her story doesn't add up. Why is she protecting somebody who shot her, abused her? Why is she not coming out speaking about it? Why is she not telling on him? And then when she finally did come out and say something about it, you had people on the internet calling her a snitch. Honey, we finna really get into some things, because the internet is just wild, okay? It's a wild place. In my opinion, and this is what I think, regardless of what happened between them, whatever happened in that car that night, regardless of what Megan said to Tory or even did to him, it didn't warrant him to shoot her in her feet, okay? Just because somebody said something to hurt your feelings or bruise your ego, that does not give you a right to put your hands on them. That does not give you a right to cause them bodily harm just because they said something that just bruised your ego a little bit or that rubbed you the wrong way. That doesn't give you the right to go around putting hands on nobody, or that doesn't give you a right to cause any bodily harm to somebody. And it's like people are questioning her story and saying, oh, well, you're not saying what you did to cause him to shoot you in your feet. This lady did nothing. I wasn't there, but if they were just arguing and then she said something he didn't like and he shot her in both of her feet, then she did nothing to warrant that. So you really think that if somebody says something to you that you don't like, you can just go around shooting people? Everybody that say something to you that you don't like or say something to Bruce, because I guarantee he probably said some things that were hurtful too. And I'm pretty sure the thought in her head was not, let me shoot this nigga. That is not normal. That's not what stable people do. You know, stable people don't go around shooting people and putting hands on people just because somebody said something that wasn't that nice, so nice to you. Now, if you can't defend yourself with your words, or you can't fight back with your words, then you need to just stop dealing with humans, because in life, people are going to say things that you're not going to like, and people are going to say things that are hurtful. But that doesn't mean that you get to lay hands on somebody like y'all in church. You can't just go around laying hands on people like that. Or you can't go around just shooting people or cutting people or just causing people bodily harm. So regardless of whatever this woman said, if she was not any type of threat to him, if she was not trying to kill him or harm him, there was nothing that she said or did that could have made him do anything. First of all, you cannot make a person do anything. Now, I understand that people can be provoked to do something, but everybody needs to be responsible for their own actions. Everybody needs to be responsible for their own actions. You know, in this life that we live, there's this thing called free will. It's called free will. Nobody can make you do anything. Nobody can make you do nothing. You always have a choice of how you handle situations. And she didn't literally make him shoot her. You know, she didn't make him do anything. If you don't have enough emotional intelligence in situations to control yourself, and if you don't have enough emotional intelligence to control yourself in situations, or if you don't have enough emotional intelligence to walk away, or to just, if you feel the need to defend yourself, if you don't have the emotional intelligence to fight back with your words, if you just have to defend yourself in situations, then you just need to stay away from around people, because you just can't go around shooting people. That's just not normal. Like, something is wrong here. And I think that's what we need to really focus on, is that there is something wrong here with this man if he gets so angry to the point where he feels like he has to shoot people in their feet or just shoot people in general. This woman really doesn't have to come out and explain nothing to none of us. She doesn't have to explain a thing. But when domestic violence victims do speak out about things, it's really not in the best interest of the public to just, even though people are going to do what they want to do, and this is the internet, and the internet is just, you know, people going to do that. Once it's out there, it's out there. It's out there for people to talk about, for people to speculate, for people to create narratives. It's just the way the internet is nowadays for some reason. it's just not in the best interest. It's still morally, it's not in the best interest of people to question whether this person's story is correct or not. Because to be safe, it's just best to not question it. At least not publicly. It's best to not question it or to try to find holes in the story. You know what I'm saying? It's just best to not, because it looks like you're victim blaming, you know? And I think that for us as outsiders looking in, it's best that we get, you know, before we speak on things, we need to get all the facts first. Get all the facts first. And then you can have an opinion about it. But, like, it's biased right now. But regardless of what she said or whatever, it does not mean he had the right to shoot her or do anything to her. You know, sometimes we have to sit back and know when it's appropriate to analyze things. And I think that when a person or a woman comes out about anything sensitive such as domestic violence or rape or anything like that, it took a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage for somebody to speak out about that and to just be authentic and speak their truth about situations like that. It takes a lot of courage. In my own personal experience, I have had to speak out about stuff like that. And it took a lot of me to do it, but it was something I felt like I had to do. And people will, even normal people, normal women like me, and I'm pretty sure you, whoever's watching, we get it. Victim blaming happens to us too. So it's 10 times worse for celebrities. I'm sure you can see that. And that woman did not deserve to get shot like that. She didn't deserve to get shot like that. And she literally has nobody. Her mom is deceased. Her grandma is deceased. Her father is deceased. She has nobody. And it's like the internet is just tearing her apart. And I don't know. I hope she has at least somebody in her corner. You know, whether it's people in the industry or maybe some other relatives that she has that is supporting her through this and just supporting her in general, you know, because the people that were close to her, the closest to her, are not here anymore. And that's so sad. You know, I know all of us, we have to leave here someday, but just to think about, me and Megan are like the same age. And just to think about me not having nobody, all my people are gone, and I'm just out here at my age, just, even though I'm a grown woman, I think everybody needs somebody. You know, so you need somebody. You need at least one person that is supporting you. You know, somebody, at least one person you love that's supporting you. But Tory Lanez is canceled. He was never really that popular in my book. I only know one song he has, and that's "Say It." And that song, it was a decent song. But if I just have to be honest, it wasn't a song that I listened to all the time. It wasn't a song that I was just super crazy about. In fact, I remember skipping it a lot. But I mean, it's decent. But it's not like I'm crazy about it. Like, I'm just crazy about it. I gotta listen to it every day type of thing. It's not like that. Another thing that I've noticed that people are trying to discredit her about is the fact that she's showing strength with this situation. Like, she's still, you know, you see her, she's still on Instagram, she's still being herself, she's still going out, she's still living her life, she's still being Megan Thee Stallion. And people are saying, well, if you were shot and if you were abused or whatever, then why are you still going out to the clubs and stuff like that? And I don't even think that is a valid argument, because first of all, people handle things differently. People cope with things differently. Especially, I mean, people cope with things differently. You know, everybody does not, you know, sit around at home and cry and just wallow and And that's not to say that she didn't do that at some point, but at some point you have to continue to move forward, and you gotta keep going, even in the face of, you know, a storm. You have to continue. You have to keep going. Like, you can't just sit around and be sad and feel sorry for yourself. You know what I'm saying? This woman has fans and stuff, that people supporting her, and I guess she feel like she has to keep going. I mean, just because you are, you know, you dealing with something, that doesn't mean that you have to wear it on you at all times. I mean, and I can speak like this as a person who has experienced domestic violence. I was the same way. I mean, you know, I've been in just tumultuous relationships with people where it was like nothing that extreme. You know, I was never shot or nothing like that, but you know, it's been some pretty bad situations that I've been in, but not too many. But it's been some situations I've been in with people, and I feel like I would never gonna get over it, you know what I mean? But I still had to keep going. I still had to live my life. I still had to, you know, fulfill my responsibilities. I still had to live. I still had to be I still had to, you know, that's the only thing that kept me going. You know, everybody does not handle things the same way, you know, and who's to say that she doesn't cry or she doesn't, you know, I mean, everybody doesn't get on social media and you know, everybody's not Trisha Paytas. Everybody's not Trisha Paytas. Everybody doesn't have to get on social media and let you know how they feeling in every second of the day. Because even if they were to do that, then people would say, what would they say? What would y'all say? Oh, this person is attention seeking. This person is attention seeking. This person wants some sympathy. You can't be strong. You can't be silent and not say anything. And you can't be vulnerable either and talk about it. It's like you damn if you do and you damn if you don't. If it looks like you are handling the situation too well, then it's questionable whether this certain thing happened to you or not. But if you're silent, then it looks like you're guilty of something. But if you're vulnerable, then it looks like you are attention seeking, or you looking for some type of sympathy or something, or whatever, you know, or you're trying to prove a point, or whatever it is. Now, another thing I was seeing on the internet is that people felt like she was snitching. When she did come out and talk about it, people felt like she was snitching, and people were even comparing her to 6ix9ine, child. And I was very confused about that, because how can you compare her to 6ix9ine? First of all, Megan Thee Stallion is not in a gang. She doesn't have any street codes that she has to follow, or any rules in that regard that she has to follow, to my knowledge. So I'm trying to understand how she a snitch for coming out you know, and revealing who shot her. You know what's crazy is most of the people who were coming for her were women. Notice that anytime any type of domestic violence situation happens, the main people that have the most to say are women, taking up for the man, trying to discredit another woman, and it's just disgusting. And what's crazy, even crazier, is that half of these women will really say that they have been domestic violence victims themselves. Where there's no way you can be a domestic violence victim, because if you are a domestic violence victim, then you should be able to put yourself in the shoes of another woman, and you should be able to understand that you should be able to understand somewhat of what she's going through. For the people who say that they are domestic violence victims, because I feel as though if you were, then you would understand, and you wouldn't really be passing much judgment on how somebody chooses to handle a situation just because maybe you handle it differently. Since most of y'all are so perfect, and you just handle things the right way at all times. Stop it. Get some help. Back to what I was saying though. This woman does not have a street code to follow. That's the difference between her and 6ix9ine. If I was shot in my feet, I'm telling, period. I'm singing like a canary, okay? I'm singing like a canary, okay? I'm telling, I'm snitching, I don't care. And as women, we have to stop trying to be ride or die, and we have to stop trying to protect people who didn't protect us. Stop trying to be ride or die and ride for yourself. Be your own ride or die. Okay? You can't have a person hurting you and you protecting them. And I think that's the only thing that she did wrong, is trying to protect him. But I'm proud of her that she's no longer doing that. Proud of her, the fact that she came out and spoke on it, you know. And I'm pretty sure she is still a traumatic experience for her. That, you know, she's still dealing with that. She's still coping with that. And the fact that she came out and even talked about it and told everybody it was him that did it. That's I think that deserves a standing ovation. You end up feeling worse when you let people slide, because when you let somebody slide, they start ice skating. I'm pretty sure she was done with him, but no, you know, in a normal situation with normal women, we end up taking back abusers, and, you know, over and over again, because it's a cycle, you know, and each time gets worse and worse and worse and worse. You know, each time gets worse. They do it. It might be a little shove here, a little push here, and then it might end up being a slap, and then a punch, and then a choke, and then a kick, and then it just, you know, it just gets worse and worse from there. So you have to have a stopping point before it gets to the point where you are, you know, in the hospital, or even worse, dead, you know. But I'm pretty sure she didn't have any plans of going back or nothing. I just want to throw that in there. That does happen, you know. Celebrities go through it. Imagine what normal people go through all the time. Another thing that kills me about the internet and people who victim shame is that when it's a person that they like, or it's a person they feel like they know, then they automatically assume that that person didn't do what this person came out and said they did. Megan Thee Stallion situation with Tory. Apparently Tory has fans. People feel like, well, you know, my fave could never do anything like that. And, you know, people have to stop being so gullible and so naive to really think that people, human beings, have one side to them. We all have different dimensions to us. Okay, we all have different layers. You can never say what a person would never do, you know. Let me think of somebody I like. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite male rapper or singer, but I used to like Trey Songz. And Trey Songz got a scandal out now too. He's out here giving the girls golden showers. But that's a discussion for another. I'm not gonna sit up here and try to debunk none of that, because I don't know this man personally. I don't know Trey Songz from a hole in the wall. It's just like we don't know Tory Lanez from a damn hole in the wall. Okay, we can't say whether Tory Lanez did that shit or not, or he would or would not do that shit or not. You know, we gotta stop just because we know somebody, and just because we've known somebody for a long period of time, and this person seems so nice, and this person seems like such a good person, and every time I see them, they smiling, and they sweet, and they nice, and they just a savior for the world. That doesn't mean that they don't have a different side to them. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that they don't have a dark side to them. So we can't just sit up here and say, oh, this person would never do this. Because you don't know. You never know what's going on inside a person's mind. Even though a person seems fine and seems normal and seems stable, that doesn't mean that they are. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that they necessarily are stable. And it doesn't mean that they necessarily okay. And it doesn't mean that they're fine. So that's how you end up in a lot of bad situations, because you think that because a person has a look like they wouldn't do something, then, or they look like a good person, whatever that looks like, that they wouldn't, that they automatically, you know, that makes them whatever. That's how you end up in bad situations, just judging people based off how they look or how they appear. Girls who have been abused by other people's friends and family members or relatives, and when the person comes out and talk about it or whatever, you know, the relatives or the friends of this person will automatically say that this person didn't do that because they're not that type of person. It's my friend, it's my brother, it's my cousin. And we're not just talking about men here, because clearly women can be you know, violent too. Just saying men because you know, it's a women's channel. Clearly, you know, clearly women can be abusive too. It's just better to just keep your mouth closed and make sure you have all the facts before you speak on something. Because if you're not careful, you could really look like you victim blaming. You know, if you're trying to blame the victim, or like you're trying to discredit the victim's story, and they could, in the whole time, they could be telling the truth. You know, you can't just take people at face value. Just because they look nice or they look a certain way or whatever, it just doesn't mean that they are what you think they are. It's time for us as women to be selfish. Start thinking about yourself and your own. And I say women because we are the main ones who tend to be more forgiving and more nurturing and more loving and more what the hell? We are the main, like, species of humans, I guess. We are the main, you know, we're the gender that tends to be, like, way more forgiving and way more nurturing and loving and, you know, just open to people and stuff. And it's time to be less forgiving and less nurturing to people who try to, who want to harm us. You know, you can't heal if you constantly blaming yourself and feeling guilty, especially if you're one of those people who feel guilty for constantly going back. And most people I know do go back. I have gone back, going back to the person, hoping things would be better, hoping they wouldn't do it again, but they end up doing it again. It's a scary thing when you're with somebody who can't control themselves. You know, they just don't have a lot of self-control or emotional control. Those are things to look out for. Like, if you with somebody and y'all get into an argument and it's like they can't really control themselves and they go here and it's hard for them to get down here, that's really not a good sign. I mean, yeah, we as humans, we get angry, but it's a line that you don't cross, and it's a limit on the anger. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's a situation that's not that serious. Now, I don't know what the issue was with Tory Lanez. I know some people say that he's on coke. You know, he's on drugs, and then yeah, I can see how that can be an influence. You know, but there's no excuse still. Doing drugs is no excuse to shoot somebody. And if he has a drug problem, then the people around him need to encourage him to get some help, honey. He gonna end up, you know, shooting somebody, and it's gonna be a situation he can't come back from because he's gonna be doing, you know, some time behind it. And who's to say that he's not gonna do some time behind this? You know what I mean? She done put it out there and said that he did it. You know, she got the proof. Look at her foot. You know, all that. So who's to say that he's not going to have some repercussions behind this situation? And as he should. But I don't think that I can get angry enough to say, "Hey, I'm going to shoot you." You know, I'm not. I don't think I can bring myself to do it. I don't think I can bring myself to do that. And I hope none of you do, because first of all, I like my freedom. I love my freedom, and I don't think anybody is worth me losing my freedom for. And that's just something you have to think about when you have something to lose. you think and you move a little differently. You know, you move a little differently when you have something to lose. And I think freedom is something we all have to lose if we shoot somebody. That's all I have to say about that situation, you guys. What do you think about the situation? Do you feel like she's being victim blamed? How do you feel about Tory? Do you think he should be canceled? I'm pretty sure we can probably all agree on that. At least I hope so. But it's kind of questionable, considering the responses I saw on the internet. And thank y'all for watching. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. And leave a comment. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.